old friend Jim Turner, I would share with you something that you may not be aware. I think you are. I used to be in politics. And I liked it. But for 11 consecutive years in Harlem, I ran for some political office, year in and year out. And I promised the electorate that if you elect me, I'll change everything. And I really believed it. But for 11 consecutive years, the people of Harlem, in their good judgment, rejected me year after year after year. Until finally, in 1964, a man called Malcolm X, who had not been involved in the electoral politics of the open society, decided to support me in my race for the assembly. And the record will show that with Malcolm X's support, I became the assemblyman from Central Harlem, city of New York. But I would share with you the fact that I asked Minister Malcolm, and this was shortly before his departure, his death, I asked him would he go with me to Albany as I was sworn in. Now, I knew the consequences of his going. I knew the sense of intimidation that would fall upon the state Senate and the state Assembly as I walked in with this man that they really didn't know. This man who was not violent, as they suggested. The only violence he was ever involved in, as Sister Betty said today of WLIB, was the violence of his own death. We walked into the chambers in Albany, New York, and there was silence. And then a magical thing occurred. Here were all these right-wing people who did not boo, who did not shout, but came to ask the autograph of Malcolm X. And I share this with you to say that those who would have power and those who do accomplish things of great power cut across all boundaries. And while they as individuals have their thoughts, collectively they often do that which is wrong. But when separated from their colleagues of indecency, they show a different side. So on that day, I rose to status because I was there with Malcolm X. And the 2 years that I was in the assembly, I was treated quite different than I might have been treated had I not arrived with Malcolm X. So I ask you, and each of us, if we track our lives, find there is a certain course that we follow. And if you were kind enough to applaud me, I guess because of the WLIB, WBLS, Apollo, whatever else we're doing, please understand that I'm a product of a Malcolm X. For had there been no Malcolm X, and I had not been elected to the assembly, I would not have had the opportunity to become borough president. Had I not become borough president, I would not have had an opportunity to have access to the corridors of power. Had I not had the strength gained from my identification with Malcolm X, I could not have walked the corridors of power. And there would be no WLIB. There would be no WBLS. There would be no Apollo Theater, and I wouldn't be standing here with you. May I close with this? There is of my childhood a comment made in memorial services that goes something like this. And those of you who know it correctly, please don't be offended by my errors. Please be generous to me in your thinking. goes something like this. So live that when thy summons comes to join that innumerable caravan that moves to that mysterious realm where each shall take his place in the chambers of the silent halls of death, then go not like a quarry slave at night scourged to his dungeon, but soothed and sustained by an unfaltering trust, approach thy grave as one who wraps the draperies of his couch about him and lies down to pleasant dreams. Malcolm X, Minister Malcolm, was a man of courage. And when he died for a cause that benefits all of us. Thank you very much.